No, I can't think of anything I miss right now, but I can tell you there's something I really like about one of the new libraries that I go to. They have an amazing dinosaur display.
Good adventures, everybody. I'm Melissa Bonsack, and welcome to episode 125 of Books Cubed. Today is a very special show. I am talking about one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, and that is libraries. And I want to welcome Nicole. Oh, I'm going to butcher your last name, Nicole, so you'll have to say it for me.
LaBrocca.
LaBrocca. And we're going to talk libraries today, so let's jump right into it, Nicole. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a Romantasy author. I currently have three books out right now, and a prequel, and I have another coming out in April. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm really excited. And thank you for having me today, by the way. I'm excited about our conversation about libraries because that's pretty much where I got my start in writing because I joined an author group in a library and it just went from there. It was very exciting. It's fun meeting all those authors, talking about it, and then just, you coming up with new ideas and talking to everybody about them. And it was a lot of fun.
When was that? How long have you been an author?
Well, I've been an author for over 10 years. I actually started off with children's books and then I've moved to romance. Kind of children book idea. I had several of them. I put them out there and they kind of dried up. And I started having more ideas in the romance genre. So I was like, I'm going to move forward with this one. I enjoy it. Not that I didn't enjoy children, but they are a lot more work, a lot more money too. And you don't, um, it's a lot more investment in those because the pictures themselves, full pages, cost a lot of money, and you have to have at least 10 of them. So,
Yeah, and you need to be able to pay the artist up front unless you can get someone who will do a share with you.
right.
And not everybody is an artist. My sister-in-law is a children's book author, but she's also an artist, so she can do her own drawings. So that's kind of a hindrance if you can't do that yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So what kind of romance do you write?
Fantasy romance. So, yes, very exciting. I enjoy it. My series are about actually gargoyles, which don't look, it's not a monster romance, so they don't look like monster gargoyles. They're regular, normal looking people with wings and a tail. So,
Ooh, gargoyles. Yeah, I write fantasy too, so some fantasy. So it's always exciting to hear about what other people are doing. Are they set in the contemporary world?
no, it's a fantasy world.
But I mean, is it
More medieval, kind of with castles and small villages and
okay? Yeah, my mind, I was thinking paranormal with our friend Tamara writes with the real world with the fantasy elements into it, and yeah, my mind is frazzled. Forgive me for that.
oh
Let's
no.
jump into the library. So, what brought you to the library? Did you go to libraries when you were a kid?
Yeah, but not as often as I do now. I definitely went, I enjoyed it. We kind of had to go to the library as a kid because that was all of our resource materials. We didn't have the luxury of the internet. So library is where we got our information. So yes, I went to the library as a kid and I went just for more than that too. I enjoyed reading when I was young, Black Beauty. What are some of the other ones?
Were you a Lord of the Rings fan?
Oh yes, Lord of the Rings for sure. Yeah, tons. I was an avid reader. So
So, so,
library was a big deal for me.
oh, yeah, love the libraries. And you joined a readers group, you said, or a writers group at the library?
I did. Not local to me. At the time it's local, but not anymore. I recently moved to Florida, so I'm not anywhere near it before anymore. But yes, I joined the writers group and it really helped me become an author.
Now,
So
I hear a lot of people say, we don't need libraries because everybody has Kindles and everybody has the internet and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think that's true. I mean, what would you say to somebody who would say that to you?
but they're more than just books. Now, granted, I enjoy paper books myself. I just took another book out just the other day. But they have seed libraries where you actually can go in there and get seeds. They have community involvement things. Like my daughter is currently going to the teen meetup where she's meeting other teens, and she's online school, so she really doesn't get that social interaction as much as she would in a public school. So she's getting to meet people, talk to people that she wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to do so, and make friends. So it's great in that aspect. Not only that, but there's yoga, you can learn ukulele lessons, which I plan to do eventually one day when I have some free time. And knitting and crocheting. And yes, they're older things, but it's kind of things that we don't want to get rid of either. It's stuff we want to keep, even though people don't use it as much.
Yeah, if you have first of all, if anybody out there should go ahead and Google the local libraries near you because you never know the kind of things that they're going to have, and especially authors in the Orlando area. And I forget which library it is, and I think this is still true. I looked it up very recently. If you get the $75 card, if you don't live in that in that district, you can get a library card for $75, and they have an audio booth and you can record your books in their audio booth and it's free. And I think it's 2 hour blocks of time. It's one of the Orlando libraries, and I will figure it out and I'll put it in the link in the show notes. If you're in the Orlando area, you can check that out. But check your local library to see if they have that kind of thing.
And not only that, but my old library, and this one does too, my new one too, has it to some extent. You can actually borrow tickets to different things like community events. My old library, there was a place called Grounds for Sculpture, and it was basically a park that had a whole bunch of sculptures and arts throughout it. And you can actually borrow tickets from the library to go and visit that for free. So this local one has something similar. There's a trout fish park, I believe it's called, where you can take your library receipt that you've taken out a book or something and go there and you get free admission. So it's great opportunities all around.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So, do you go regularly to the library for yourself?
I just started going again. I used to go regularly, but like I said, I moved, so it's kind of getting back into the swing of things, but now I am starting to go regularly. I just last night went to a homeopathic seminar, which was very interesting. So lots of different things that are available at the library that you just don't know, and it's all free.
Yeah, and that's amazing, people. That is something that you don't want to lose that.
Hmm.
And that sense of community. And when you first go into most libraries, there's going to be a bulletin board with local events and local meetup groups listed. I even saw when we went to vote, our voter registration, our voter, not registration, our voter, when we go to vote, it is at the library. And when you first go in, there was a potluck one night, and I thought, they're bringing food into the library. That seemed really strange.
That does seem strange. I've never seen them do that before. That's a new one for me.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of times they will have author events with authors selling their books at the library.
Mhm.
And the authors actually sell copies. And you would think people would be going there and saying, well, I don't want to buy a book because I can check a book out, but no, I have friends that sell at libraries. And I thought, wow, I mean, that's crazy. I hadn't thought about something like that, that you'd figure that the people wouldn't want to buy there.
Yeah, I have done an event at a library before. I didn't do very well, as opposed to other formal book events. But yeah, you can still sell it. I didn't find it as much an audience as one that was tailored more towards that kind of audience to who wants to buy books.
Yeah. Then do you have meetup rooms that can be rented by the public for events at your libraries? You said there's a couple
At
you go to.
my old library, I know for sure because I did do that. I don't know about this one because I haven't looked into it yet. But they have several meetup rooms, so I don't see why they wouldn't. It makes sense. But
Yeah. And depending on your city too, depends on how big your library is.
mhm.
We lived in a teeny tiny town in Wisconsin for a while, and the library was about the size of my house.
Oh wow.
So, and this is another one too. If you're learning a foreign language, you can often find children's books written in that language at the library. And I recommend highly that you go and you check out some children's books, and it will help you learn the language. We did that with Spanish when we were trying to get better at our Spanish, and we were going to cruising and going to various islands where they spoke Spanish. And
Okay,
uh,
yeah.
and yeah, that really helped a lot. Right now, I'm doing French, and I just don't know if they're going to have any children's books in French. That just might be a little more obscure, but I don't know. Maybe they will. And you can order books. So if you want a specific book, you can go to your librarian and ask them, and they can look in the system and see if it's in any of the libraries in the area. And for authors, and you should talk to your local library too, and see if they're interested in buying your books
I
because
donated
often.
mine to the local library. So, and once it was in the system, they said that they only put one in the system. So, but that buying your books would be nice, but I donated it.
Yeah, and I know I think it's is it Overdrive that you can sell directly to libraries?
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't know.
but if you tell your readers that to go into their local library and request your book, and if they get several and they have some extra cash, they will buy the books. They will.
That's a
They
good
have to.
that's a good idea. That's a
Oh
very
gosh.
good idea.
So do you go to your library to write?
No, I do write at home. And I actually will go there and just read sometimes for the quiet. It's quiet right now, but I have two dogs that sometimes they go a little at each other and it's very noisy at times. But it has a nice quiet little room that you can just sit and read. Or like I said, do another activity, go to one of their many offerings that they have. So it's a lot of fun. And what's interesting too, and I don't know, I'm gonna look into my library, see if it has it, but I read that there's a library in Washington, DC, that actually has things like 3D printers, laser cutters, that it's called a maker's level where you can actually make stuff in that level. I thought that was ingenious, really smart.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to write that down and I'm going to look that up and I'll toss that into the show notes if I can find it.
Okay.
Make things. I can write and talk at the same time. So yeah, if you don't have a home office and
Mhm.
you're an author, one place that you can write is at the library, and it's very quiet, and you don't need to buy a drink every hour for them to let you stay there. I have seen people with water bottles that close and then take sips and then put the bottle back out of sight again. I have had water bottles and left them on my table with a sealed lid, but you can ask when you first walk in and make sure it's okay for you to have a drink with you. And I think if you're at the one of the working tables, it's probably okay. I mean, as long as you're not walking in the stack and shaking your water on things.
Yeah, I think they're pretty lenient on that. As long as you make sure that they don't have a problem, we should be fine. But yeah, it is a quiet place to actually get internet and write.
Oh yeah, yeah. And for our local library here, there are I think there's like 8 or 9 computers, and there's usually someone sitting at every computer. And the librarian will be able to help you look up things if you are new to computers and you don't know how to research or how to look for things. Do they still have reference librarians at the library? Do they have a reference desk still? I just haven't looked recently.
I haven't looked either. I couldn't tell you. That's a good question.
Yeah, if you're a reference librarian, drop down into the comments and let us know that you are still out there. I hope so. I mean, it used to be that the reference librarian was the person who knew everything. Um, what was the movie with Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy? Was it Adam's Rib, where she was a reference librarian and the phone would ring and they would pick it up and someone would ask an obscure question and she knew everything. And they had to. They had to know everything and to be able to help you find whatever you needed to find because, like you said earlier, before the internet, when we did any homework, you either had an Encyclopedia Britannica and you would look it up in there and then submit whatever was written there as your essay,
Yeah.
or you would go to the library and the reference librarian would send you over to the card catalog, and you would pull out the card catalog and you'd look up the whatever item you were looking for. There'd be a little number, and you would walk over into the stacks and look for that number. And so that was our research. And today you just type whatever you need into Google, and whatever you get, you hope that it's correct.
Well, that's the thing too. A library, you're more likely to get accurate information, whereas the internet, you don't know. You have to hope. It may
Yeah.
not be reputable.
Yeah, you're better off if you just go straight to the library and talk to uh, the librarian at their desk. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. So you write, you said fantasy romance, and how
Mhm.
many books do you have out?
I have three three books out. One's a prequel, and I'm working on the technically the fourth right now. It's third in the series if you don't count the prequel, which will be out in April. It's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's
Well, that
gonna.
is exciting. And they're gargoyles. Can you give us an elevator pitch?
Okay. In the shadows of captivity, love ignites in the battle for freedom. The blurb goes, immerse yourself in a seductive tale of passion and captivity, where the line between predator and prey is perilously thin. Lysa, a captive of fearsome dragon, finds herself trapped in a labyrinth of stone, shadows, and secrets. Her only solace comes from the mysterious Zodiac, a rogue who whispers of freedom and sparks of forbidden passion. As she delves deeper into the dragon's lair, Lysa must navigate a dangerous path filled with ancient magic, desire, and struggle for power. Can she break free from the chains of captivity and embrace her destiny?
Ooh, forbidden. I tell you, there's some words that I know that my friends who read romance, there's certain words are the only words they look for in a blurb, and that's one of them. So that's good. That's good. And the next one comes out in April, you said?
Yes, April 25th.
Oh,
So,
what day?
April 25th.
Oh, 25th. Okay. Yeah, that's my husband's birthday. Mine's the 23rd.
Tim, happy birthday to you then.
Yeah. Yay. Oh, cool. Well, this is fun always talking about libraries. As we said, there are so many great things. Is there like one favorite thing from your library that you used to go to that you miss?
Well, no, I can't think of anything I miss right now, but I can tell you there's something I really like about one of the new libraries that I go to. They have an amazing dinosaur display. So, like life-size dinosaurs that you just walk by and it's part of their display. It's amazing. Like raptors, all different sizes and shapes of them, different colors. Like it's really amazing. And
Which
they
lib?
also have a butterfly garden, which is really nice and a little walking trail. So it's pretty much got a lot involved. The only thing they don't have is a cafe, which
Oh, that would
I
be
don't
perfect
think
then.
would
Yeah. And
leave.
which library is that?
That is the Mount Dora Library that has that.
I will have links to the libraries. I'm going to look at that DC library because that's very cool if there's things you can make at the library. And if, like I said, if you are a reference librarian, let us know if you guys are still out there. And if you have a library in your area that has an interesting uh, uh, group or something they do that you think is kind of unusual or something that you think people would like to know about, please drop down into the comments and let us know. And do you have a website?
Yes, it is NicoleLaBrocca.com. NicoleLabrocca. And it has my books listed.
Fantastic. And I will have links to that in the show notes. And I will throw on, if it's okay, I'll throw a title up there um, onto the screen so everybody can see what the titles look like or what the covers look like.
Oh
And
yeah,
thank you so much for coming in. And now I just want to go to the library and I don't have time.
I know. I
Oh,
understand.
gosh. Well, everybody out there, go to the library and I will see you next time.
Thank you.